watching as much Jimmy Dore as I have over the years, I kind of lost sight of one of my favorite pastimes, getting angry while watching Fox News. Yes, I hate the Democrats, but these guys are just incredible. Let's watch some of these dumbasses.
Joining us now is a former White House press secretary, co-host of Outnumbered, and author of a brand new book, For Such a Time as This, which comes out Tuesday. Kayleigh McEnany. Kayleigh, I'm going to ask you about your book because my mom and my wife are going to be proud. I think that comes from the Bible. I think the title comes from the Bible.
It does. Esther 4:14.
This guy came straight from, looks like a minister. It looks like he's been assaulting. Look at that smile they're sharing as he's just assaulted 3 children under the age of 10. And yes, Jesus, Fox News, Jesus loves crony capitalism. He loves crony capitalism. He loves a plutocracy. To me, that's the most bizarre thing about it is like, I think most of this is fake. The cross around the neck, because these Wall Street guys who really run the Republican Party, they're snorting coke in the. I know part of it's big oil also, but there's a heavy Wall Street element, and as there is in the Democratic Party. But these guys are snorting coke off of hookers, at the strip clubs. It's how does that blend with Jesus Christ? How does that blend with Jesus Christ? Okay, let's keep going here.
Yes.
Okay, if I'm right, my mom and my wife are going to be shocked and very, very happy. But before we get to that, I don't mind tough questions. I just want them to be asked of both sides with the same frequency. What was your experience?
It was not that. Look, I went in and tried to clear my mind of what I knew about the media because I came from the campaign. I already knew the media was not fair. I agree with the 56% of Americans who believe that journalists actively make up stories to fit their narrative. That's 56%. That's high. However, I wanted a reset, so I went in, tried to have a clean slate. However, the questions became very caustic very quickly, very personal. You contrast that to some of the questions currently being asked of Jen Psaki. She's been asked about a biting incident with the White House dog. She's been asked about the White House cat. She's been asked about the Air Force One color scheme. These are questions that don't serve the American people. These are questions I was never asked. Ultimately, I think a fair press is somewhere between the softballs Jen Psaki gets, the tough questions I got, somewhere in between where they're substantive questions for the American people.
All right, you're a smart person, so I like to ask why. Why is there this perception and or reality that one side gets tougher questions? I mean, I think whether people like Jonathan Swan or not, he seems to be a pretty equal opportunity tough questioner. Lay him aside. Mm-hmm. That was not my experience when I was in Congress. Republicans get much tougher questions than Democrats, but the question is then why? Why do you think that is?
Well, I mean, when you look at the donations of journalists at a lot of these publications, who they've given to, if they do give to a political candidate, it always is Democrat over Republican. This is a media that has a liberal bent. They exist in the confines of Manhattan, largely in the D.C. swamp. So they very rarely get outside the bubble where, I had the pleasure of getting to know Trump voters all across the country, from Iowa to Texas to Florida to New Hampshire.
Yeah, let's continue to pretend like they're not all on the same side, ultimately. It's high school. This war between the Democratic Party and the Republican Party is high school because they agree on mostly everything. You think Biden isn't a Republican? Biden is a secret Republican. Loves his tax cuts. Loves his elites. There's a video. He's like, "Oh, I really want to work with Mitch McConnell. I can't wait to work with Mitch McConnell." These fucking assholes are on. This is all fucking fake. This is a play as we continue to watch
I got to hear what people were saying on the ground, but very few reporters at the height
scripted
of
television that is CNN, MSNBC,
so
and Fox.
It's a liberal profession. Unfortunately, the questions don't serve the American people, and I hope it changes. But we need young people to go into journalism, like Jonathan Swan. I agree, or Steve Holland, or some of the others who are equal opportunist questioners.
All right, you have a new book out, which means you have written more books than I have read. You may have written more than one, but I know you got a new one coming out.
I've only read one book. It's the Bible.
Now, for such a time as this, tell us what motivated and inspired you and what we will learn as we read it.
Well, I'm a person.
Pope, there are lots of pictures in the book. Trump was actually bragging about that recently. Yes, I wrote a book. Lots of great pictures. Great. I know how stupid my voters are. They need lots of pictures and fewer words. Yes, great pictures.
Person of faith. I'm a Christian.